Yeah, my name is Mangani Walise Rote. I've been a member of the ANC, a member of Umkhonto weSizwe. In the struggle for many, many years. The struggle has taught me many things, including the fact that in my writing, I should become the voice of the voiceless, and also interpret our lives as the people who come from among the oppressed, but also fighting for South Africa, close to our people, black and white. It is very strange that we are where we are today, where our organization has spiraled very deep into crisis. But then we have always known that when the crisis comes, it calls us to duty. And therefore we are now, as veterans and stalwarts, organizing for the National Consultative Conference. And we are asking ourselves the very serious question as to it is when what has happened that we will say the National Consultative Conference is successful. It will be successful if, as in the past, the voice of the ANC becomes the voice of the people of this country. And the voice of the ANC, as I know it at all times, is to fight for freedom, is to be very close to the people, is to interpret freedom of people as an everyday experience. Then we'll have shifted from the crisis, and we hope that as we do that, we'll also be able to sustain the gains of the National Consultative Conference. One of the manners in which we should be able to sustain that is to begin to listen to the young ones. They should listen to us. We should enter into a dialogue about the future of this very beautiful country of ours, which is a poetic country, which has taught us poetry, a country which is a nucleus of the world in itself, and therefore it needs very good minds, it needs courage, it needs commitment and conviction about what we should do and where we should go. I must say that having been among the veterans and stalwarts sharing a lot of our meetings, there's been a very serious lesson for me as a person, for me as a writer, for me as a cadre of the ANC. In a sense, it has also been a great opportunity which one must value in the future when we become successful to hand over the ANC to the coming generation, and after that we'll say goodbye to them. Thank you.
My name is Sydney Mufamadi. I started this lifelong journey as an activist for progressive change in our country in the mid-1970s. I was influenced by, amongst others, the late Steve Biko, who was, amongst other things, a prolific writer. Amongst some of his works, I read a pamphlet then which went by the title Black Consciousness and the Quest for a True Humanity. That had a lasting impression on me as an activist, and from then onwards I understood that the struggle was about the betterment of people's lives. Like many of our people today, I'm concerned that that legacy of the ethic of service to the people is in danger of being betrayed by those who think that positions of responsibility in the new South Africa are meant to serve the self. I therefore feel that it is important for us to appeal to our people, as the veterans and stalwarts of the ANC are currently organizing a national consultative conference on the ANC, to say, let's join hands, look back at that proud history of our struggle and take the positive lessons from it, uphold the legacy of our struggle in order to guarantee ourselves the bright future that has always been the goal for which we went into struggle.
My name is Mavuso Msimang. In 1994, the people of South Africa overwhelmingly voted for the African National Congress to introduce democracy in this country. Mandela, Sisulu, and many other names that younger people may hear about were the leaders of the organization that has unfortunately deteriorated to the extent of crisis where we are. It is incumbent upon the youth to understand where they came from and not be too deterred and too frustrated and too demoralized by what is going on today. It is their responsibility to ensure that they pick up from the good work that was done by people in the past. I'm so aware that the ANC that used youth to propel itself forward seems to be disappearing. The challenge I would give to the youth is that this is their country. They have to find a way of participating in ensuring that the democracy not only lives, but that it grows. I still believe personally that the ANC, if we can rescue it from the rascals who are running it today, will be a torchbearer for the lights that will take us into the future. The young people represent the future, and it is important that they know where they came from in order for them to understand how to go to where they must go. I will be part of the consultative conference that will take place in November. We had hoped that our leaders, current leaders in the ANC, would enthusiastically accept invitation and call all people to come together and discuss the difficulties we have, just like O.R. Tambo did in 1969 when he called the Morogoro Consultative Conference. It is important that we go back to those values. There is still a chance to do it, and I think there are enough of us who are going to make sure that that happens.
My name is Cheryl Carolus, and I joined my first organization when I was 13. I was also a founder member of the non-racial women's organization in the Western Cape, and I served on the first executive committees of the UDF in the Western Cape and nationally. And today I'm appalled at what has happened to our beloved organization. From that leading light of non-racialism, non-sexism, and in fact progressive thinking and moral ethos, we today are led by a large number of people who will sell their souls for a few pieces of silver. And I'm appalled by this. I want to reclaim my organization because I cannot see myself voting for any other party because they do not deserve my confidence. I want to appeal to the vast majority of ANC members who are decent people and who want a different future and who understand that our task of building freedom is not yet over. And here I want to particularly appeal to the younger generation of ANC members, and I also want to appeal to women who constitute over 50% of the population of South Africa. Surely we cannot just abandon our organization. And that's why I will be joining the National Consultative Conference, which will be held here at Constitution Hill. And I urge every one of you who love our country and who are proud of the legacy of the ANC that we fought for, to join us here at Constitution Hill for the National Consultative Conference.
My name is Faisal Randera. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a proud member of the ANC and a signatory to the document For the Sake of Our Future. We are faced with a major crisis in our organization and in our country. Inequality remains very high. Unemployment has reached figures that nobody ever imagined. And it is for these very reasons, and for the reasons that almost every day we are faced with stories of leadership both in government and in the ANC taking advantage of their policy, of their positions, and becoming involved in corruption and looting and taking advantage of why people put them there in the first place. We are going to a national consultative conference. It is time that we reclaimed our history for the sake of our future. It is time that we said enough is enough, and people who need to be prosecuted should be prosecuted. I will be present at the National Consultative Conference, and I will participate for the sake of our future.
My name is Murphy Morube. I was one of those who were part of the June 1976 student uprisings in Soweto. The sad thing about today is that those values of the ANC that we all grew up under or in have been compromised in today's ANC. And I dare hazard a view that the much spoken about moral decay in the ANC has been a harbinger of the decay and the moral degeneration that is prevalent throughout society. And therefore, reflections on our history, what we did and where we came from, is important in order to ensure that we are grounded in the determination of our future. And for us as veterans and stalwarts, for the sake of that future, we would be calling on the young people, who are the majority of our society anyway, whose future this really is about, to come and join hands with us and give us this support as we call on the leadership of the African National Congress to accede to a humble request to come to a consultative conference to reflect on what it is that they have led the organization to. Until we do that, I think we will not be able to deal with the essence of what is wrong inside our organization.